The annual release of yet another Call of Duty title late in the year is almost a gaming holiday by now. The series, fronted by either Infinity Ward or Treyarch, RIP Sledgehammer Games' titles you were taken far too soon, have had fluctuating success over the course of the generation. Whilst titles such as Black Ops 3, the rebooted Modern Warfare and World War II were solid titles, we had a few missteps with Ghosts, Black Ops 4 and Infinite Warfare. Whilst the aforementioned Modern Warfare is enjoying continued success as 2020 rolls on, we're already looking to what's next from Treyarch. Will it be Black Ops 5? Will it be another sub-series reboot? Are we heading over to the Cold War or Vietnam like it's been rumoured? Whichever way we go, it's not going to be plain sailing by any stretch. And I'll tell you why. I'm Rich from WhatCulture Gaming, and this is why Call of Duty is in big trouble. First, Sledgehammer Games was sadly demoted. After working on the middling threequel Modern Warfare 3, Sledgehammer Games took the lead on their own Call of Duty title, the rather good Advanced Warfare, sitting amongst the ranks of Treyarch and Infinity Ward. With 3 developers behind the series, the studios then had a 3-year development cycle rather than 2, giving them more time to produce a higher quality product. With Black Ops 4 and the Modern Warfare reboot following Sledgehammer's second solo title, the massively underrated World War II, they teamed up with support studio Raven Software to produce 2020's title. However, after creative differences led to a turbulent first act of development, Activision stepped in and demoted Sledgehammer back to a support studio. This, for lack of a better word, sucked. Advanced Warfare and World War II were both well-playing and well-received titles, and Sledgehammer missing out on the chance to create their third was a real shame. Honestly, go back and give World War II another go. I've been flitting between both that and the Modern Warfare reboot, and they play surprisingly similarly. Plus, the zombies mode, for the most part, was pretty good. The multiplayer was good fun, my Type 100 I could kiss you, and the campaign, though very Team America theme here, was punchy, action-packed, and hard-hitting all at the same time. Treyarch have now been brought in to pick up the pieces of this Sledgehammer/Raven title, even though they'd already been hard at work on their own game, originally slated for 2021. Treyarch are about to be crunched like never before. Subsequently, Treyarch now have less time to make a game that's not even theirs. As far as we know, Treyarch are merely continuing the project started by Sledgehammer and Raven Software. It doesn't mean they won't add their usual flair of bright colours and a zombies mode, but it means the base DNA of the project belongs to Sledgehammer, which still isn't actually a bad thing. However, too many cooks can spoil a broth, especially when said broth's recipe was written by someone else. We have absolutely no idea what we're getting later this year, but it looks to be we're in for a Frankenstein-esque product gracing our systems. Treyarch have quite the task to save this sinking ship, piecing together what's left along with adding their trademark modes, all within a time period that's a year less than what they used to. This is probably the biggest thing that's putting this title in peril. Crunch is happening, and it's not the first time it's damaged the studio. Call of Duty crunch is unfortunately nothing new. Black Ops 4 back in 2018 was mediocre at best. Though the multiplayer was solid by Call of Duty standards, the Battle Royale mode Blackout didn't really bring anything new to the already saturated Battle Royale table, and the Zombies mode was almost a letdown through and through, and this is coming from a big Zombies fan. The campaign, present in every Call of Duty title up to that point, was absent. Even though the fact that no one plays Call of Duty for the campaign was cited as the reason why, the real reasoning behind the absence of single player was because Activision weren't happy with the campaign concept that Treyarch were producing. They asked them to start again, but they simply didn't have enough time. Instead, the Battle Royale mode was squeezed out, and for just over a year before launch, Treyarch found themselves in a crunchy situation. Post-release, staff at the studio were debating whether they would have to, and whether they'd cope or even want to, go through crunch all over again. Unfortunately though, after Activision put their foot down and slapped their name on a title they had one less year to finish, crunch was inevitable at the studio. It honestly looked like the company were going to start hemorrhaging employees. Just take a look at the Kotaku expose about the QA testers being treated like dirt and screwed over by Activision. It's actually kind of sad. Would people want to be employed by a studio that, not of their own doing, are going to be crunched into oblivion? Probably not. But to make matters worse, it is right now the dawn of a new generation of consoles. New hardware means new problems. Later this year, we'll finally be able to get our hands on the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. The 9th generation of consoles is coming, and dev kits are already out there. Even though developing for home consoles is a lot smoother than it used to be, it doesn't mean that titles on launch will be perfect. Look back to 2013 when the Xbox One and the PS4 launched. It took them a good, 2 years to start finally reaching their stride. There's a good chance that Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Raven, and likely every other support studio under the Activision umbrella will be all hands on deck for the release of Call of Duty 2020. To throw a further spanner in the works, there's a chance the title will have to be ported and released on both 8th and 9th generation systems, plus PC, much like Call of Duty Ghosts back in 2013. This means between Treyarch as the primary developer, Sledgehammer and Raven as the main support developers, and the plethora of other studios owned by Activision all chipping away at it too, they need to ship 5 different versions of the same game, each for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X by the end of the year. It is a lot of work, and I doubt even they think they have enough time to do it. However, delaying the release is absolutely off the table. Though the majority of titles slated to be released in the first half of 2020 have been delayed, Call of Duty is an annualized franchise, and Activision won't have it any other way. Pushing the October or November 2020 release date back, giving Modern Warfare a bit more time in the field, would make the most sense and could absolutely, happen. But Activision's greedy nature would never actually allow a delay to happen. Simply put, Modern Warfare receiving, another 2-3 seasons of its multiplayer offering, it won't make anywhere near as much money in COD point purchases and stuff compared to releasing a whole new title. It doesn't matter what state it's in, Call of Duty 2020 is shipping this year. End of story. Delaying a game to give it time to make sure it's the best it can possibly be is positively trendy right now, but Activision simply don't care. Their cynical approach to their titles and their audience mean they're just pushing consumers away each and every year. Yes, they can keep inflating their predicted sales figures in some hope that just by saying their products will do better, they will do better, but if they're happily churning out unfinished, unbalanced, buggy titles, how are they at all surprised when their games never seem to reach their unrealistic financial expectations? They're just slapping their consumers in the face. It's truly baffling. If Call of Duty is your biggest money-making franchise, which it is because you release 2 games a year, Activision, then you should be making sure it's perfect, as the more people that play it, the more money it would make, and because it's better, people will play it more. Modern Warfare got a full 3 years of dev time, and it's the best Call of Duty of the generation, arguably. Why not try for that again? In this crunchy period, how many assets or mechanics would need to be reused? How well optimized will the title be for current or even next-gen consoles? How will the PC port of the title be handled? Black Ops 4's PC port by Beanox. I am looking at you. That game was, and still is, an absolute state. I'm pretty certain they did the Modern Warfare PC port too, but that's a lot better. However, I would like to not have to download shaders each and every time I want to play, okay? 2020 is a huge year for video games overall. I mean, Doom Eternal in 2 weeks, Half-Life Alyx, Resident Evil 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2 and Cyberpunk 2077. Call of Duty doesn't exactly get the spotlight anymore as much as it used to back on the 360 and PS3, but they'd better not half-bake it and be bargain binned like Infinite Warfare was, basically as soon as it launched. This year's Call of Duty title is in the worst position it could possibly be in. Could the trio of studios pull this off to at least acceptable results, or could the 9th generation never see a Call of Duty title again? It is in Activision's hands at the end of the day, and if they manage to publish a title matching the quality of World War II, Modern Warfare Reboot, or even Black Ops 4, it was still playable, I will be pleasantly surprised. So they are my thoughts on the current state of Call of Duty. At the time of recording, we know very little, and I was expecting more to have leaked by now, but there's nothing. Knowing my luck, this will all be obsolete by the time it goes out. Such is my luck. But what do you think? Are you convinced Call of Duty is still dead because it died forever ago, even after having that little bit of a positive resurgence with Modern Warfare? Or are you about done with the series entirely? I'm still intrigued as to where Zombies is going to go from here, but that's mainly the reason I play the Treyarch games anyway. Speaking of zombies, why not check out my video on ranking the entire Treyarch Zombies map catalogue from worst to best? But if you're wanting more editorial bits and bobs like this, be sure to check out our playlist. You'll see links for both of these on the end of the video on those end card things, you know, the bit with the really jazzy music. Stay tuned. I've been Rich. Don't forget to subscribe to WhatCulture Gaming if you haven't already, and you can follow me on Twitter at PickupChangeToe for more video game nonsense and Doctor Who takes as well. Take care of yourselves. I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.